Welcome back. We are talking about investing with Bob Reynolds right now, CEO and president of Putnam Investments, overseeing over $160 billion in assets. He's also the CEO of Great West Financial. Bob, it is good to have you on the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Morning, Maria. How are you?
So many things to talk about, and I want to get into retirement with you as well and allocating capital. But let me get your take on the regulatory environment. We just talked about it with Marion Bartels and John Hilsenrath from the Wall Street Journal as one of the reasons that you're seeing certain moves made, like GE selling real estate or, the banks getting out of certain businesses. How would you characterize the regulatory environment right now for financial services, Bob?
Well, I think like everything else, the pendulum swings too far. And regulatory environment's tough, especially for financial institutions, and I think that's going to play out over time, especially as it relates to the capital markets, the potential lack of liquidity, which is a concern of ours.
How would you change the business as a result of the new rulemaking?
Well, we obviously look at balance sheets much closer, select partners that we know that will be supportive of what we're doing through good times as well as bad times. So it's being more selective of who you work with.
And of course, you have really revitalized the company and made changes under your leadership as a result of what you're seeing, whether it's regulation or clients. What can you tell us about clients today and where their risk sentiment is, if you will?
Well, they're still risk averse, which is very, very interesting. I think coming out of 2008, I think people do know what's happened in the stock market, but you still don't see the type of investing that you would usually see after this type of market. So very risk averse, don't want to make a mistake, and avoid blow-ups at all costs.
So are they sitting on a lot of cash? Is that how that's materializing, Bob? I mean, what would you say is the average cash account out there, 30%?
I think it's somewhat less than that, but they're still investing heavily in bonds. And I believe your last speaker touched on bonds are still a good place to invest, but people that are investing with the index need to realize that the risk of the bond index is very interest rate sensitive. So if rates go up, those investors will be hurt. So in bond investing, we invest away from the benchmark. That's for sure.
Which is why one of the issues today is the fact that people do not have enough money in retirement when they get to retirement. What are you seeing on that score?
Well, I think people that start early, that are saving the right amount of money, are definitely prepared for retirement. We just did a study, and there's over 30 million Americans, and it's not influenced by their income status. It's influenced by when they started saving, how much they're saving. And the magic number there is to get to the 10% level. And people that save 10% are going to have more than 100% income replacement at retirement, including Social Security.
Yeah, that's pretty extraordinary. But, I mean, how do you get into that mentality to save money? Because if you are saving money for retirement when you first start your career, by the time you get to retirement, you actually have a very nice nest egg. What is stopping people from doing so?
Well, the number one driver for people saving for retirement is workplace savings. And that's been proven out time and time again, that people that have workplace savings available to them, and it's over 1/2 of Americans, are saving for retirement. In fact, the Employee Benefit Retirement Institute did a study that if you take medium to lower income workers, and if they're in a workplace savings plan, 60 to 65% of them are saving for retirement. If you take that same demographic group that does not have a workplace savings plan available to them, less than 10% are saving for retirement. So having a workplace savings plan is critical. That's why I think some of the discussion in the country today has to be around how do we cover those workers who do not have access to workplace savings at their workplace.
So they have to sort of get in a mentality of, okay, I don't have it here, I better take out my own IRA.
Yeah, they have to, but the greatest way for people to save is through payroll deduction. And that's the winning formula. And I think the Pension Protection Act of 2006 for workplace savings plans that made automatic enrollment, automatic escalation, and really allowed for balanced target date funds to be the default, has changed retirement in this country, and it does work. The pickup through automatic enrollments to the tune of 15 to 25%. So companies need to institute these changes that were provided by this law.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because you know, that's when you start doing it, because you're encouraged by your company to do it. No doubt about it. Bob, let me get your take on what's going on today, and that, of course, is the 2016 presidential race heating up. Hillary announcing yesterday that she's going to run. Today we got Marco Rubio expected to announce officially he's throwing in his hat from Miami. He'll do that later today at 6 p.m. And I know you hosted a luncheon for Jeb Bush back in January. How do you assess the field right now?
Well, it looks like there's really one Democrat running for president, but we'll see over time. There are a lot of Republicans running, so I look for a very hotly contested primary, and we'll see how it plays out. There's a lot of time left. I know people are announcing early in order to raise money, but there's a lot of time left, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we just had Doug Schoen on, who's a strategist for the Dems, and he basically said, this is great. Hillary's alone. No one's running. So is it a good thing that there doesn't seem to be anybody in Hillary's way on the Democratic side? And is it a good thing that so many Republicans are running, or are they going to trip over themselves and hurt their chances?
Well, I think it's always good to have a primary so you can talk about the issues, get your position stated, and really work through what your platform is. So I think it's beneficial. I do think on the Republican side they have made changes in the primary process, the number of debates. So I think it will cut out a lot of the clutter, but I do think a primary is important to get ready for the national election.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we'll be watching. Great to talk with you, Bob. Thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Great
Thank you very
points on
much.
retirement. We'll see you soon. Bob Reynolds is the CEO of Putnam. Apple